Imagine a world where death comes knocking at every door, where entire towns vanish overnight, where even a single breath could seal your fate. This was the Black Death. The year is 1347, Europe is thriving, trade routes booming, cities expanding, and commerce at its peak. But lurking silently along these bustling trade routes was an invisible killer that would soon wipe out nearly half of the continent's population. In October of that year, 12 Genoese trading ships arrived at the Sicilian port of Messina. When locals boarded the ships, they found a horrifying sight. Most of the crew were dead, and those still alive were covered in black boils, oozing with blood and pus. The Black Death had arrived, carried by fleas that infested black rats. The bacterium Yersinia pestis spread rapidly. But it wasn't just the rats. Merchants, soldiers, and travelers unknowingly transported the plague from one city to the next. In an age without modern medicine, no one understood what was happening. Some believed it was divine punishment, others blamed foreign traders, minorities, or even celestial alignments. Panic and fear spread even faster than the disease itself. The symptoms were swift and brutal. Within days of infection, victims experienced fever, chills, vomiting, and excruciating pain. Large black swellings, buboes, formed under the armpits, neck, and groin. Many died within days. Doctors, dressed in haunting bird-like masks, filled with aromatic herbs, offered little hope. Treatments ranged from bloodletting to bizarre superstitions, none of which worked. By 1348, the plague engulfed France, Spain, and England. Entire villages were wiped off the map. Fields lay abandoned, businesses collapsed, and cities turned into ghost towns. The death toll became unimaginable. With so many corpses, graveyards overflowed. Mass graves known as plague pits were dug to bury the dead quickly. Bells tolled endlessly. The air reeked of decay. In London alone, it's estimated that nearly 60% of the population perished. Across Europe, between 75 to 200 million people died, almost half of the entire population. No one was safe, rich or poor, noble or peasant. The Black Death cared little for class or status. Even the church, once seen as the ultimate authority, was powerless. Clergy died administering last rites. Many began to question their faith. Some turned to flagellation, whipping themselves publicly to atone for mankind's sins. With so many dead, society itself began to fracture. Labor shortages gave peasants newfound bargaining power. Social hierarchies shifted. Feudalism, once the dominant system of control, started to weaken. Ironically, from the ashes of this horror, Europe would eventually experience transformation. Wages rose, land became more available, and new ideas took root, sowing the seeds of the Renaissance. But for those who lived through it, the memories were scars that never fully healed. I buried my wife, my children, my neighbors. I was left with only the dead for company. Though centuries have passed, the Black Death remains one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, a chilling reminder of nature's raw, unstoppable power. The darkest day in history was not one single moment, but years of endless death, despair, and unimaginable suffering. This was the Black Death, a plague that almost ended the world.